Hi everyone. I'm going to summarize the most important ideas of an article titled Towards Humanizing ELT, a Pedagogical Look by Shakuri and Nazari. Right? So let's start. First of all, we're going to think of the concept of humanization. What is humanization? The article quotes some definitions by Barth and by Freire. The first one, humanity, by Barth, defines humanity as being an encounter. So this implies mutual hearing, speaking, seeing, and helping one another. And the concept of humanization by Freire is the desired relationship between learners and teachers, and ultimately the desired relationship between people. So this relationship is constructed on the basis of mutual respect, mutual trust, and the freedom to reason. That's why empathy must be constructed. This is one of the most important ideas of the article that I took literally. In order for students to be humanized, the teacher too must be humanized. And this is also supported by Freire, since he states that humans cannot be fully human while they dehumanize others. Okay. This article states some key concerns of humanistic approaches. These concerns are respect for students as individuals, respect for the students' background knowledge, recognize not only the cognitive nature of learning, but also the affective and emotional nature of learning. Recognize the role of the individual learner's autonomy and independence, and of course teaching, yeah? But teaching focused on facilitating learning. So teaching, or as teachers, we are facilitators. So it means that we are not instructors, yeah? But as educators, we're there to provide opportunities to learn. Yeah? We guide our students, but we are not instructors who only provide knowledge to be memorized and repeated. Okay. So now we're going to start with this idea of humanizing ELT. And yeah, this takes us back to Freire's liberating education. So liberating education is a questioning education, and it involves a process of humanizing the oppressed. So humanization is subversive, right? Because it empowers the oppressed. It makes that they question themselves, that they question their lives, and they question the society they live in. So our task as oppressed people is to liberate ourselves and to liberate our oppressors. Now let's think of our English lessons. As English teachers, we can provide opportunities to discuss, and depending on the activity, yeah, this will let our students express themselves and speak up and speak their minds, right? So in this way, we'll be humanizing English teaching. Okay. As teachers, we are humanizers if we treat our students as individuals that have rights, that have their own personalities, yeah, that those personalities emerge in class and in class interaction. We are humanizers if we emphasize the strength employed by our learners, and if we help students to protect their identities. Okay, now let's explore two approaches in humanizing ELT. The first one is culturally responsive instruction. So this means that we use teaching strategies and teaching approaches to recognize and build on culturally different and diverse ways of learning and behaving in class. And the second approach is strategic teaching. So this means that we're going to explain explicitly learning strategies that students are going to use to monitor their own learning. For instance, we can teach them to organize information through sketchnoting or maybe through graphic organizers. Okay. As educators, we must have political clarity. And political clarity to do what? To be able to create, and to be able to modify teaching strategies. But teaching strategies that actually respect the students from diverse cultural groups and that actually challenge students from different cultural groups. Okay, let's check this idea taken from the article. A teacher who lacks political clarity dehumanizes the nature of instruction. So this makes us reflect upon the idea of the strength of a method. And based on this article, the strength of a method implies embracing a humanized pedagogy. So not any kind of pedagogy, but a pedagogy that humanizes. So this implies valuing students' prior knowledge, valuing their life experiences and their culture. So we're going to value our students' background, value and respect. So this means that we're going to empower our students to construct cultural democracy. Yeah, and this cultural democracy has some consequences and positive consequences and effects in the class, because this implies respecting the students. This implies treating our students with dignity, yeah? And in this way they are going to respect each other and they are going to treat each other with dignity. Okay, now let's explore humanism and autonomy. Let's see. Autonomy implies two processes. Okay, the first one is gradual deconditioning. So this means that students have to break away from certain ideas. They have to deconstruct certain ideas that have been learning for a long time. You know, for instance, they have to break away from the idea that their native tongues are not useful to learn other languages. They have to break away from the idea that the teacher yeah, is the only one who knows the perfect method to be implemented in class. They have to break away from the idea that they cannot self-assess because they are students, so they are not able to do so. All right? So they have to start deconditioning and deconstructing certain ideas, that are not helpful to become autonomous learners. The second process is acquiring the knowledge and know-how. Okay? And the know-how needed to assume responsibility for their learning. Okay. Now let's talk about social change. Yeah, because social change, implies strong and critical autonomous people. Okay. So we're going to take this idea by Friday, that autonomy development should be embedded in social change process. Yeah. So it means that we're going to work on autonomy in the classroom. Yeah. And this autonomy that students develop should have an impact, in the society. Yeah, it's not only something beneficial for them as individuals, but that autonomy must have social impact. Okay, so now let's explore democracy and humanism. And this is the last part of the article. According to Friday, humanization and democracy must be practiced. Okay? The humanizing education implies respect for students, respect for their background knowledge, and respect for their age. Alright? That this is the end of the summary. And don't forget to post your comments and questions about this article. So, see you in class.